Welcome everyone to the Down the Middle podcast. How's everyone doing tonight? How you doing, Hakeem?
Pretty good. Does it need to be louder?
That's what I'm
Yeah,
checking.
gosh so.
Does it need to be louder? That's what I'm checking. Nah, you're good. You're a little lower than me, but I don't think it's too detrimental. And plus, I'm closer to my microphone than I should be right now because I'm hunched over being lazy. This episode tonight is brought to you by the Final Frontier podcast, which should look familiar because it's my face too, but in a Star Trek uniform, and also our friends at Velena. We'll talk about both of those in a little bit. But tonight, Hakeem, I'm convinced. I think Triple H watches the show
Why you say that?
because there's so many things that they're doing now that we have literally called and said to do, and then they did them. And it's not one
Uh-huh.
or two things, like it's a lot. Probably the most recent example is of which I'm not giving myself too much credit for this because it's a logical thing to do, but like
Yeah.
they're doing with Penta exactly what I said I would do with Penta were I WWE.
Uh-huh.
Most of which, though, is you notice, at least not that I've seen yet, they haven't had him wrestle a single luchador.
Oh yeah. I don't expect him. Well, maybe later on he might
Later,
team with
yeah,
one or two, like
but what
Dragon
they're
Lee or
yeah,
something like that.
but what they're doing because of Penta's style, because Penta can lucha, but Penta's lucha is not. It's more hard hitting. It feels more like a fight,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially when he's in there with somebody that's a style that's counter to his. But even in Lucha Underground, going back and watch Penta's old matches, it's lucha. Don't get
Hmm.
me wrong, but it feels much more like a fight.
It's
It
more
feels
physical.
yeah, it feels
Yeah.
less gymnasty, and Penta can work with
Exactly.
non-lucha less wrestlers very very well,
Yeah.
like extremely well. And what they're doing is they're putting him in there with people that don't wrestle like him, so it highlights everything he does.
Exactly.
And
Like
it's
Chad
brilliant.
and I want him to face Gunther. That's like one of my dream matches, him and Gunther.
I think
That'll
he
be really
will.
good.
I think he will eventually, but
I
he,
hope so.
I have not. I'm a little behind. I had to watch a lot of stuff for other podcasts, but I do want to and see for
Mhm.
the first time in a long time, Raw is becoming television that I don't want to miss. Not that I kind of feel like I have to watch, but I actually want to watch it because of what's going on.
Mhm.
Also, I found out everyone, um, what app can you stream SmackDown on? Ah, I saw it the other day. There's a way you can stream SmackDown and not have to watch it on TV. I can't remember what
Is it?
app I was on. Yeah, I know I saw it. I just can't remember what it was. Anyway, it's out there. You can search it. And then I also found out that you can watch NXT on the CW app. So
Okay.
you don't have to have cable. Actually, I don't think you have to have cable for any wrestling today, not the mainstream, because now you can watch AEW on Max. Um, I think I think Ring of Honor you might need cable for because I don't think that's on Max, but I know that's on True TV. But it's the same
Mhm.
parent company, I think. So I don't know. It's confusing. Ah, dang! I wish I could remember.
I see it says something called Sling TV and
That's
cable.
kind of yeah. That's kind of like having cable. That's
Okay.
like internet TV. But no, there was a legitimate
Okay.
streaming app, and it's one that I have, and I saw it. I can't remember for the life of me what it was though. But I don't. I digress. Oh, it was Peacock. It was on Peacock.
Peacock. Yeah. I just saw it. Yeah, Peacock app.
Yeah, okay. I'm not
SmackDown
crazy. I
Raw.
remember. And at first I checked too. It's recent episodes because I was like, oh well, yeah, they've got old SmackDown
Okay.
on there. No, it's the latest.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, yeah, that's absolutely. So that just makes my life easier because
Hmm.
first world problems I know, but I don't have cable and I've got a really big TV in my living room that I like to watch things on, and then I've got a TV in my bedroom that's smaller. And when I was stealing my parents' cable DVR, because they have DirecTV, but they have DirecTV Stream.
Oh,
Because
okay, okay.
before you say in the comments, no, I don't live with my fucking parents. I just steal their TV, which I don't anymore though. But I used to
Mhm.
only be able to watch that in my room because that's where my Roku is.
Oh, okay.
But now I can stream all of it, so my stubbornness has paid off. Anyway, back to my original point. Yeah, Raw is becoming must-see television for me, like hardcore.
That's good.
Partially because of
I
Penta,
still
but
wish.
also,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
I'm still looking, yeah, for more of his matches. Like I really want to see where they go with him.
I'm liking what they see, what they're doing because I know he did another match with Pete Dunne that I really want to watch.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and then probably this is where I think, okay, so here's the thing. I even say in the description, either we can predict the future or Triple H is watching the show. Because for those of you that watch us every time we're on, you will recall numerous times I was saying stuff like, WWE and TNA should really like get together on something. Maybe not even an official
Uh-huh.
relationship, although that would be great. And then lo and behold, they were teasing it for a year. This all, and
Yeah.
Triple H has been trying to do this for a while because this all goes back to Mickey James showing up in the Rumble in 2022.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, 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 I remember that.
Yeah,
And she
but
was the
what
champion, I
was,
believe.
yeah, well, they let her come out with the belt and she was announced as the TNA Knockouts
Yeah,
champion. And I was like, oh,
yeah. Uh-huh.
okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting change. I just,
Hmm.
like, don't get me wrong, I love it. It's got to be a way for Triple H to get more talent without
Well,
necessarily having them
the
under
way I
contract.
feel is like TNA feels more like of a, I don't know, like a job interview to get to WWE now. It's like you really don't really want to watch TNA so much because to me it doesn't transfer to more people watching them. To me, it's still the same amount of people or even less now. Because why watch them when they're going to come to WWE eventually?
Well, but I
I don't
like
know.
that. I like that TNA is getting something out of this because there are NXT
I
wrestlers that are
hope so.
showing up. There are NXT wrestlers that are
Yeah.
wrestling on TNA television. And the
Oh
thing
yeah,
is,
yeah, they were.
I
Yeah.
dig it, man, because this whole like New Japan proved that the Forbidden Door thing is stupid
Yeah.
because you always get like, dude, remember when ECW was on TV and
Hmm.
like I think Kane went on there once and he got a massive pop.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then I
Uh-huh.
remember DX was on there one time, and even though DX was making fun of the show the
Yeah.
entire time, they still got a pop. Like people showing up to where they don't normally belong is enough to get a pop. So this whole concept of separate companies
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
it's ironically
Yeah,
it's
like Cody, when Cody was going around different companies, like, he was getting big pops when he was going to like TNA, Impact, or whatever it was then back then. But no, people was happy. It's like,
well,
oh
not to
wow.
mention Cody was a menace back then. It was fun
Yeah,
because Cody
yeah,
would just come in and sometimes he'd be a heel and just trash the company.
yeah.
It's great. Like
Yeah,
Ring of Honor Cody was awesome. I think that was
yeah.
so much fun. It was good times. If only he'd been independent when Lucha Underground was around, that could have been a lot of fun.
That would be really good.
That
Yeah,
would have been a lot of fun. Just have Cody come in there and just do just straight wrestling with all those
yeah.
luchadors. He would have been so awesome.
I even liked the Brandy more back then. Like,
Yeah, Brandy was fun back then. Yeah,
yeah,
she was. And that weird thing she had with Flip Gordon, where they weren't like
yeah,
presented as a
yeah,
couple or
yeah.
anything, but she would like come out as his valet, and it's just kind of like, sir, you know she's a married woman, right? But hey, Cody didn't seem to mind. But what else? Oh, and then this isn't something we predicted, although I'm not surprised. I know you said because in our group chat you were saying how you were actually excited for this, but Evolve is coming back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it was absolutely.
I don't
I
know how
really
I
want to
feel about it.
see which way. I don't know, but like I want to see how far it goes. Like, what will it be? Like a new NXT, or will it be like its own thing? Or
I was thinking about that today, actually. They almost need another NXT because NXT has just become a third brand.
that was the other thing I was going to say. Yeah,
Yeah. And
NXT feels more like it's another brand versus like developmental.
I mean, it really is if you think about it, because anymore, ever since really now since NXT has become televised, especially now,
Yeah,
by the time you're on NXT TV, like you're ready to be on TV, or at least you should be. Everybody
exactly.
has like everybody kind of has their stuff figured out. Like I remember back in the
Hmm.
glory days of NXT, you had like the top of their card was people that were pretty much ready to go to the main roster. They might have been polishing a gimmick out or something,
Hmm.
but a lot of the people
Hmm.
underneath were still figuring it out. Like one week Alexa Bliss would come out and do the fairy thing, and the next week she's with a tag team, and they were just
Yeah,
kind of,
absolutely.
yeah, for some people they were just kind of seeing what stuck, and I liked it a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Hmm.
But the wrestling was fantastic. But yeah, NXT anymore, I would say, especially since Braun Breaker's was NXT champion, that pretty much had the vibe of just being a third brand, because Braun Breaker had as much drawing power theoretically as any of the other champions, you know,
Yeah. Hmm.
and still does, frankly. Although
So does. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
they appear to be setting something up between him and Penta, or at least hinting at it.
Hmm.
So that'll be fun. But yeah, we'll see. If Triple H watches the show, I'll know he watches the show if, when Phoenix comes to WWE, they do the bit I was talking about where Penta gets into something with a cup, and he might get into it with Gable and somebody else, and then he has to get a tag team
I
partner.
kind of
But
want him to go Hill. I know he won't, but I kind of want. I know it's too
it,
soon, but
yeah,
I
it's
kind of
way
want him
too
to still
soon.
out Hill when his brother comes.
I agree. Well, I see. Here's what I want, and see. We'll see. We'll see if Triple H watches the show. Because what I want to see is, again, he gets Penta ends up getting into a tag team thing, and they're going to make it seem like he's going to pick Pete Dunne, because I think they're doing a
Uh-huh.
rivalry thing with him and Pete. And I think it'll probably be Chad Gable and
Yeah.
then somebody else that's going to be his tag team partner. And then Penta's going to come out, and everybody's going to be expecting Pete Dunne. And then Penta's going to do the promo where he's like, when you challenged me to this tag team match, I knew I needed a friend, and Penta doesn't have that many friends, but then I realized I don't need a friend. I don't need a partner. I need a brother. And then Phoenix comes out and they do the whole thing. And then
Uh-huh.
they tag for a bit, and then I want Penta to turn on Phoenix. Or actually, it'd probably be more interesting to have Phoenix turn on Penta,
Yeah. Turn. Yeah. It
and
would
just
be.
and the whole thing, like, again, it's so simple that it's good. Is It's like, of course they're brothers, and Phoenix resents him for getting to WWE first. It's the same thing they did with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and it worked perfectly. You know, it's
Yeah, I can see that. That
that
would
being
work
said,
too.
I do enjoy solo Penta. I don't hate, trust me, I don't hate Lucha
Hmm.
Brothers tag team Penta, but I just really like singles Penta. But I agree with you. I
Oh, I
think
even
at
like
some point,
singles Ray. Even
yeah, yeah, it's not
singles
like
Ray
because
too.
Phoenix
Even
can do
he's
it. Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely true. It's kind of cool. I wish AEW had treated them more like singles wrestlers that occasionally tag team together, as opposed to a tag team that occasionally does singles matches. Because don't get me wrong, they're
Yeah.
great as a tag team, but I think they both shine
They were
better.
phenomenal as a tag team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think they both shine better as singles competitors. But I mean,
Hmm.
if wrestling is real, being a singles guy that can tag with his brother when need be is a lot more valuable than a tag team that occasionally wrestles singles.
Yeah. And honestly, to me, they are better separate even than like Matt and Jeff Hardy.
I
Like
agree.
Matt and Jeff Hardy, Jeff is more of the good singles guy, but Matt not so much. But to me, them they are both perfect singles or in tag.
Yeah, and they're so different too. Like it's kind of hard to
Exactly.
explain because they
Yeah.
go together as a tag team really well,
Yeah.
but their styles are very different.
Yeah. Even when they're together, like Penta still doesn't do much more of the Lucifer style. He does a little bit more, but not as much still. He's still different compared to other like luchadors that does like the gymnastic stuff all the time.
Yeah. And I always got the vibe when they were doing when they're tagging together that Penta's more of the muscle and Phoenix is kind of like the finesse guy.
Yeah, exactly. It works well. Like I've seen some of the greatest matches, honestly, with the Young Bucks. It was a really good match between them two. Also, even I forgot this team, FTR.
Yeah. Now there, I have a hard time. I have a hard
They need
time.
to be attacked.
Yeah, they need to be a tag team. Not
They have
that's not to say they
to.
can't do it, but
I've seen them when I think Dash was hurt. It was okay, but they need a tag team. They are tag teams.
yeah, FTR needs a tag team.
Yeah. Honestly, most tag teams need each other. Or like there's always sometimes it's like a level where one is a little bit more popular than the other. But
Yeah, but not with
you can kind of
FTR.
tell.
Yeah, it was like that with the Hardys.
Oh no, not with them, not with them. Yeah, the Hardys, Enzo and Cass, you know,
Yeah,
Enzo.
yeah. No, trust me, you don't have to clarify which one was more popular. Yeah, no, Cass was definitely the yeah, Cass was totally the more popular one.
Yeah. Even like what Otis and the other guy. I
Yeah.
forgot his name.
Like
That yeah, that one.
I get so frustrated with Otis because it's something I should hate, but I just again, it's commitment to the bit. When you commit to the bit
Absolutely.
100%, even if it's stupid, I can kind of get behind it. Maybe that's why I can't stand Orange Cassidy anymore is because he commits to the bit until he puts on like a really good wrestling match, which is frustrating because Orange Cassidy can wrestle.
Yeah.
So I guess he's not committing to the bit. That might be why.
Honestly, the bit is just too out there. It's just too
It's
it,
one of those things that works fine on the indies when you're not on TV every week.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'll admit, when I first saw it, actually, no, I take that back. When I first saw it, I thought it was really stupid. Then I saw it a little bit more and kind of chuckled, but then it got stale really
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Orange Cassidy's still a mystery to me, but I don't know if you saw this. This is actually really cool. I saw this on social media a couple days ago. So apparently, Triple H has unveiled two new championships for WWE, but they will not be competed for on WWE television. They're going to be competed for on the indies.
Oh, I heard something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like WWE men's and women's indie champions,
Yeah.
which um that sounds awesome and it's a win for indies because I mean WWE's title is in your promotion. And I'm sure WWE is going to have say in who gets what, but if I were an independent wrestling company, why would I complain? You know what I
Belts,
mean?
they're okay. It has WID. that's like their, I don't know, stamp of approval. Because some wrestling schools, they say they have under the WID. So the belt, I don't know, it's okay.
Yeah, I can't remember the specifics. But I find it fun. So this is another reason why I kind of feel like championship, WWE, WWE, not we. Oh gosh. Anyway, so yeah, but this is another reason why I think Triple H might watch the show because what he's talking about is an interpromotional championship, which we started doing years ago
Oh yeah.
as a cross promotion tool. But yeah, so this belt can be defended anywhere at any time, literally, not like WWE 24/7
Okay.
title that's only defended on WWE television or internet. Which actually we need to get this rolling because I've had this belt for like 2 years and we just haven't started rolling with it yet. But coming soon, coming very soon. But yeah, so I'm like, wow, that idea is so great. Also sounds kind of familiar. Triple H, just if you watch the show, can you just do like a wink and a nod reference? Just say down the middle in a promo and then we'll know, okay? Which, oh my God, if he does, I'm gonna shit a brick. Like literally, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, record that, play it in the podcast, and be like,
That'd be
I knew
awesome.
it. Like I'm kind of saying this half jokingly, but there's been a lot. Like because
Mhm.
I've also suggested that I've never understood why WWE wasn't more involved in the indies. And this championship is literally an audition for WWE developmental because you put the belt on them and then you defend it. And since
Yeah.
it's your championship, it's a way to expose one of your new guys before they're your guy.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like, I just wonder, is it going to be only like a few schools? Like,
I hope
I know it's
not.
like, I know it's Booker School has this one on the WWID,
Yeah.
and I think Rikishi School or the Wild Samoans or something like that. And I think there's one more school. I'm not sure how many schools is under that WWID, but I know it
Well,
wasn't like a lot of them.
well,
It's
what
still
I
be
would
good though.
what I would envision this to be is like okay, and WWE has the money to do this. Like let's say that your belt starts out in Booker school, but then and maybe they do dark matches too. Like you
Oh
there's a
yeah, yeah.
lot of things there's a lot of things you can do. But like let's say that the belt's being defended at an indie show in New York somewhere.
Hmm.
Well, WWE just sends a camera crew there, records the match, and then they put it on WWE.com, and the indie gets exposure, or the WWE YouTube page would probably be better, or and WWE.com, of course. But if you
Uh-huh.
want to follow that championship, it's totally an internet championship because it's
Exactly.
expressly said it's not going to be on WWE television. So it's a win-win. The indies get exposure, so people in New York are like, "Oh, damn! I didn't even know there was a wrestling company in my backyard." And Triple H understands that a rising tide raises all ships. So if indies are
Hmm.
doing well, there's more interest in wrestling. There's more talent to pull from because the more
Yeah,
opportunities
exactly.
guys and girls have on the indies, there's just more talent to pull from. And like, let's be real, everybody
Hmm.
knows that WWE is everybody's end goal, like, or at least it should be.
Yeah, I think there's only a few people that's probably really, I don't know, in the minority where they like they don't care or they
Well,
just
and
like one particular promotion.
I have a
But I
theory.
don't.
I have a theory about that because there was a time where honestly, like when New Japan was at its height for me in circa 2016,
Hmm.
I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? At this point in time, if I were a wrestler, I'd honestly have my sights set on New Japan more than WWE. But WWE was
Hmm.
crap at the time.
Hmm.
Like it was not good TV. So I can understand why at the time wrestlers felt that way, but I don't think there's
Hmm.
anybody in the wrestling industry that's ever been like, under no circumstances would I ever want to go to WWE. Like I understand it might be conditional,
Hmm.
if I'm going to say if WWE was running the way it is now, after Kenny Omega's New Japan contract expired, I think Kenny would be in WWE
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
along with MJF and the Young Bucks. I
Mhm.
honestly think that. But because WWE was kind of sucking at that time, it made sense to go with AEW. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't hate AEW. I hate what AEW has become only because I wanted it to be better.
Oh yeah, I saw Moose on
That was
NXT.
the
That
other one,
was a
yeah.
good pop. I like that. I
But
never would have thought Moose would ever be on
we
AEW.
brought up that was actually what made me start. I'm glad you
Yeah,
said that because
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. They did work
we said
out.
when are they going to bring in Moose?
Yeah.
And then they brought in Moose, and I'm like, okay, that's a little weird because that's a
Yeah.
little out of left field. And
Yeah, I saw that like yesterday or maybe earlier today. I was like, oh, I'm so happy.
is it just me or does Moose look bigger on a WWE camera?
It looks more closer, especially like NXT's more like
Yeah, I know.
close. Yeah.
I'm being
Yeah.
facetious, but yeah, actually, it was funny. He kind of looked. I did a double take because at first I was like, that doesn't look like Moose. It's like,
Yeah.
wow,
At
studio
first I
lighting.
didn't think so. It was the lighting or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it looked different. Actually, I was gonna say he usually looks bigger on a TNA camera, but I mean, good for Moose. I'm kind of shocked that he has to be in TNA by choice for as long as he's been in
Yeah,
TNA,
yeah.
which maybe it's a
That's what I
schedule
thought
thing.
too. That's another thing. Maybe not everybody wants the whole, WWE schedule circus.
That's
Some people
fair.
maybe
That's
it's
fair. I mean,
fine.
AJ
Yeah.
Styles for a long time stayed in TNA when he probably could have jumped to WWE. And then ironically, when he needed to go to WWE, they were like, "Nah, we're good." And it's like, "All right, and then off to Japan I go."
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
was
he killed
really
it.
like excited almost for like what's going to happen between like TNA stars. Like there's so many that's there that I wish that people actually knew they were.
And there's so many great ones, and I want to see Nick Nemeth as Nick Nemeth come back in a WWE ring. I think they can do. And the thing of it is, and why I'm so excited is Triple H clearly is just a wrestling fan who, like, he's a fan first, and he understands what wrestling fans want because it's what he
Yeah.
wants, you know. And now he can do it. So, like, yeah, if Triple H is like, yeah, I want this girl from TNA to be in the Royal Rumble, come on to NXT, and then eventually sign her to a contract. But now she's already been exposed, so it's like a real smooth transition.
Mhm. I was thinking at first I was thinking, oh, Athena or Ember Moon. I thought she was in TNA, but I was, oh no, she's in ROH.
Nope, she's
Never
still in Ring
mind.
of Honor. Apparently killing it.
Yeah.
I wish I
Oh,
could
she's
watch it.
amazing.
Yeah,
She's phenomenal.
I just wish I could watch it.
Honestly, she's right now one of my favorite wrestler, like females. Like she's that good. She went to New Japan also,
Oh,
like
did she?
a few
Oh,
weeks
okay.
ago. Yeah,
Okay, I might
she
need to
went
check that out.
Stardom.
Yeah, but Stardom's part of New Japan now, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
I said, oh, I'm
gives it a
shocked.
bit of legitimacy. But speaking of things you should check out, listen, if you like wrestling, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you might like Star Trek too. And if you like wrestling podcasts,
Yeah.
you might like Star Trek podcasts too. You can join us every week on The Final Frontier, where we go episode by episode of every single episode of Star Trek as our goal. But here is a brief look at what you can expect on The Final Frontier, plus a sample of our kick ass theme song. The Final Frontier podcast. These are the voyages of Jake Boger and Justin Spur. Our weekly mission to explore memories of Star Trek's strange new worlds, to recall the search for new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has had the spare time to go before. which actually I have to apologize. I forgot that trailer actually says Sundays. New episodes premiere on Mondays now, but I screwed up.
Was it
All right.
Enterprise? Was it? Wasn't that one?
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah, I liked Enterprise actually. I resisted it for a long time, but when I finally did sit
Uh-huh.
down to watch it, I was like, "Oh, this is great." But yes, join us every Monday evening for new episodes of The Final Frontier. Our goal is to go through and comment on every single episode of Star Trek and every movie. So didn't think about that before we started because that will take
Every
years.
movie?
Every movie, even the bad ones.
Yeah.
We're looking at you,
Oh,
Nemesis.
how about the fan ones? The fan film, like the one that Tuvok made or directed.
Uh,
Renegades, I think it's
we
called.
want to we want to get to that, and then we also want to do Star Trek adjacent, like the Orville, and
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
That's really cool.
that's gonna be literal years, but we're having fun doing it. So yeah, I
That's
realized
fun.
after we got through about halfway through season one, and I'm like, oh crap, this is gonna take
That's a
forever.
lot of track.
That's a lot of Trek. Thank God we're sponsored by Paramount Plus. Anyway, um, we are actually sponsored by Paramount Plus though, so that's
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 fair.
pretty cool. Yeah, that was a surreal email to get. I was like, holy crap, they said yes. Anyway, yeah. What else? It's funny because there was a lot of stuff I was thinking about where I'm like, I'm pretty sure Triple H watches the show. I don't know that this wouldn't have been an influence thing, but like we called Jordan Grace being in the Rumble again, and we called Joe
Oh yeah,
Hendry
yeah,
being in the Rumble, but I'm not even chalking that.
yeah,
That's just obvious.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that. Like they had
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, it was everybody saw that coming. I'm still just shocked
Mm.
that they're publicly in a relationship with TNA. Like, I think he probably had
I
to
don't.
fight for
Yeah.
that one.
Mm. I don't know. To me, they are more open to advertisements now. Once I saw like that Prime
That's
energy
true.
drink, like
That's true. That's a good point.
anyone,
Well, and that's
as
something
long
that
as
I
it
think.
makes money.
So I have a co-host too on another podcast where we constantly butt heads about the difference between like internet entertainment and television models, and I think Triple H and Vince probably had very similar conversations
Mhm.
because yes, here's the thing. When everything is streamable and on demand, you don't really have competition, certainly not in the same way you did in the old television model, where in order to watch
Yeah,
a show, you had to watch the show. Meaning, if your show started at 8 p.m. on Monday, you had to watch it on 8 p.m. on Monday.
absolutely. I miss those
Now,
days, to be honest.
yeah, I kind of do too. I do kind of miss television being an event,
Hmm.
but
If honestly, it feels like they try harder a little bit more, to gain your view.
well, because they had to. Now,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm.
yeah, but now, which I'll be honest, as a wrestling fan, it's great because I don't think I can ever watch wrestling live when it's on, although I can for Dynamite now, but that's because I
Uh-huh.
freed up my Wednesdays. Before I used to do two podcasts on Wednesdays, so that was not going to happen. But it's rare that I can watch wrestling when it's on. So being
Hmm.
able to just find it on streaming is super helpful. But to your point, it does kind of make it less of an event unless there's something
Yeah.
very specific that I'm excited about. Because I remember in the glory days, back when we were doing weekly wrestling wrap up, when I had to turn on the TV at 8, otherwise I was going to miss something on Raw.
Hmm.
I do kind of miss those days. And then at least
Same.
I was a little bit more easily entertained back then because like now I have the option to just turn it off.
Oh yeah, but it was new. It was different. It was. We didn't have like YouTube back then, or any
Speaking
like
of that,
social
how
media to
surreal was
watch.
that to see Santino Marella back on WWE TV?
Oh, he was.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
because he's
see
the
that.
authority figure for TNA now.
Yeah, no, in TNA, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they were
I
doing a bit where he was like,
probably watched
"Which
that.
NXT star do I want on TNA?" And I'm like, "This is weird." It's like he's back in WWE, but he's not in WWE. He's in TNA, but they're working together now. So
Yeah, yeah,
that was probably a wild backstage day. He was probably like, "Where is John Cena?"
yeah.
I'm still waiting for Cena to
I'll be
walk
sure
into a
he's not.
TNA pay per view. That would I would die.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool thing he could do before he retires. Retires.
I don't think he would do it, to be
I
honest.
don't think he would either, but come on, a guy can dream. Just to say he
Yeah,
did
yeah,
it.
it would have been nice. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Actually, he could come out wearing the suicide outfit. That's a
Oh,
dated TNA reference for you
Peacemaker.
guys.
Oh, never mind. I didn't from that.
No, no, the actual
I
wrestler
thought it's from the
suicide.
show. Oh, okay.
Although Peacemaker, that'd be funny too. But no, he can wrestle the suicide, and then at the end of the match, he can pull the mask off and then give him an AA and lay him
Yeah.
out. That'd be fun.
No, that would be really cool.
It would. That would be pretty cool. And then he can go to AEW and just cash checks to not work. So, how quickly do you think we're going to see
Everybody else
Rusev
does.
back? Yeah, everybody else does.
um, I don't know. He was taking pictures with Sheamus, I believe.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was an older photo actually. Oh no, maybe not. I
oh,
didn't
okay.
see the photo. No, I think you're right. I think it was newer. Which to me that just says, "Hey guys, I'm coming back." Um,
Yeah, uh, probably. But I don't know where he's going to be. Is he going to be in NXT or is he going to be on the main? No.
I think you're just gonna. Oh, excuse me. I think you're just gonna hear that old Rusev music, and he's gonna come back as Rusev. Different
Hope
haircut, but
honestly, I hope it's like a little different
I wouldn't be
because he's
disappointed if he
different,
came
you know.
back.
Oh, I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't be
either.
disappointed if he came back as Miro or Rusev. I don't care.
Yeah,
But
I just want him on TV.
I want him to be what he was for the very, very brief time on AEW where he just came out and wrecked people.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I
I,
mean. Yeah,
yeah, I
that
don't
part.
think I've ever seen him look as good as a character. And
Hmm.
it was great. And then they just completely
Out
stopped
of
doing it.
nowhere,
The thing
they
was
do
so
that a lot. To
stupid.
be honest,
What's that?
it's a lot. They do that a lot with a lot of other wrestlers, where it's just like stop and go.
Over in
Um,
AEW? Like, and I'm ashamed to admit, I can't remember the last time I watched Dynamite, much less Collision. Like, I just kind of can't be
I
bothered.
might have saw. I don't know. I watch clips, and I watch. I don't know. It's hard for me to watch wrestling in general, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a
Like
2 hour wrestling program is kind of hard to stomach sometimes. Although the vast majority of Raws I've been okay with, but
honestly, nothing is exciting. Like I'm not even excited for WrestleMania. Like who's on it? You know,
well, we don't know yet. But I think
like
this year's WrestleMania is actually, I think this year's WrestleMania is actually going to be really, really good. We just don't know what's going to happen yet.
Mhm.
But and then did I see that Hikuleo is now in WWE?
Oh, probably is.
Yeah, it's Tama Tonga and Tongaloa's other brother.
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, I saw that he had a Titantron theme, but I don't know. I don't know if he's in NXT or if he's on. I would imagine he's in NXT, but don't know.
Oh, that's another thing. I don't know why they treat the other uh Tongaloa like garbage. They treat him like a jobber since he got there.
Well, I mean,
He's never shined. He was always as a henchman.
I mean, he's playing his role.
I know, but he was so much better in New Japan. It
Yeah,
was
but
like equal when it was tag.
remember though, remember how quickly Solo just rose. But he came
Oh
in
yeah,
and
yeah,
was,
I
yeah,
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
he came in and was Roman's lackey for a bit, and then
yeah.
like, gosh, talk about an ascension though. And then Jacob Fatu's already like not main event, but he's very popular. Although
Hmm.
that was gonna happen. That's obviously.
Yeah, honestly, he's my favorite out of all of them.
he's just so fun because I mean,
Yeah.
he is that. Like, I saw an interview he was doing is like, he's like, man, I'm too lazy to play a character. That's me. Like, and I'm like, you know what? I see it. I see it. I'm trying to think of what else because there's been a fair amount that I think it honestly was though. Moose was the catalyst that made me think like, oh, I think somebody in WWE watches this show. Which I'm flattered. I'm just saying, give me a little wink and a nod or a sponsorship, one of the two. I'll take either, preferably both.
I was gonna say it, yeah.
Yeah, preferably both. But I swear, dude, if on one of the shows Triple H says the phrase "down the middle," I'm gonna know. I'm gonna take that as a sign.
Flip it.
Clip the.
Use it as a
I'm gonna clip
cameo.
the shit out of that and just be like, "Excuse me, where's the check?" Hey, Trips, I'll trash AEW on here every week if you want me to. Send me that fat check and a Legends deal. No, I'm kidding. Speaking of Legends, though, how about Trish? I know we talked about Trish, but Trish still got it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't think she ever lost it, to be honest.
That's true. I don't think she ever had to go looking for it. I think it was pretty much like, "Hey Trish, you want to be in the Royal Rumble?" Hell yeah. Ring rust? What's that?
I honestly wish she was there more. Like she brings, I don't know, part of like the attitude era with her, so I like it. She reminds me a
I
lot
think it
of
was
her.
Jim Cornette who was kind of saying he was like, ugh. He was saying like Trish is almost how old is Trish? Trish is almost 60. No, wait. She's almost
She
50.
is?
Sorry, no, she's almost 50.
Oh, okay, about the same.
I got 4 and 5
Wow.
mixed up. Yeah, Trish is almost 50. And Jim, I'm quoting Jim Cornette. I'm not saying that he was like, Trish is almost 50 and she's in there wrestling better than, like over half of the active roster.
Hmm.
I mean, it is Trish
She is.
Stratus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of stoked. A couple years ago, they had that storyline with her. I was kind of surprised that she was on TV that often. I liked it. I just kind of figured it would be a one
Hmm.
and done with that Rumble, but yeah, and then Michelle
I kind of wish
McCool's,
they bring back. Oh yeah, 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 I forgot about her. Yeah,
yeah, she's
she's
going to be in the Hall of
inducted to
Fame.
the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. What were you saying you wish they'd bring
I
back?
don't know why.
Yeah,
Oh,
because she's married to Undertaker.
oh, of course, that's the only reason why. Can't think of one phenomenal Michelle McCool match ever.
It was funny though because Hot Stuff Joey Holmes of not down the middle of Weekly Wrestling Wrap Up fame
Hmm.
he had a real thing for Michelle McCool. Now, granted, this is Michelle McCool circa 2007, so it
Uh-huh.
was a little different, but he definitely he had a thing for Michelle McCool. I had a Kelly and Melina thing, but not together. I mean, just
Yeah,
although
yeah.
anyway. But yeah, who you were saying you wish they would bring back something?
Yeah, we were just discussing her. I forgot her name that quick. She's married to the guy on, was it? I forgot her name. I'll think of it in a second.
Describe her. Paint me a
Jamie
picture.
something. Oh, she wears a cowboy hat. She, oh, Nikki James.
Mickey James. Yeah, yeah.
Nikki James. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wish they bring her back. I don't know why.
Is she
Also,
still
her husband's in
wrestling?
there. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
She's married to
The
Nick
guy, the
Aldis.
general manager. Yeah, Nick
Yeah, Nick
Aldis.
Aldis.
So I don't know why they don't bring her back.
Well, my only thing I could think of is that she doesn't want to wrestle right now. I
Hmm.
mean, to be fair, but she's not an active TNA wrestler though. Not now, but
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen her, but maybe she's focusing on her music.
Oh, I forgot she did music too.
Yeah. Country. She sings country.
Oh,
Hardcore
country.
country, to be exact. I didn't know such a thing existed, but hey, maybe just after the end of each song, they just hit each other with guitars. Maybe that's hardcore country. Jeff Jarrett style.
That'd be cool.
That would be, I was going to say, I'd go to that concert. I feel like at the end of the match, he just baseball swings it, hits the dude right in the head. It's going to get expensive quick, though. Those guitars are not cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I guess the ones that you're going to crack
Most
over people's heads would be, but
they're the like hollow ones, I think.
well, I mean, I think they're all, well, I guess hollow is not the right word, but yeah, yeah, those are definitely hollowed
They're
out
the
for
uh-huh.
splinters. You don't want splinters. Speaking of guitars, though, apparently Elias, now known as Elijah, is in
Oh yeah,
TNA.
yeah. That was the other thing. Yeah, yeah. I saw him. He helped it out. Joe Hendry. Helped Joe Hendry.
Yep, they had a little concert together, which I
That
think
was really cool.
Joe Hendry coming to WWE is imminent.
Honestly, I thought he already was in
I
there
thought he
in
was too,
TNA.
yeah. And I didn't click. They said it on commentary in the Royal Rumble. Jordan Grace is now a contracted WWE wrestler, and she's on the
Yeah,
roster
she
page now.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's very
I
cool.
wonder how that does that work. Like, does TNA get somebody, or will they ever get somebody from like NXT to be like on the roster
I don't know
in the
about on
main
the
feud
because
now?
the thing of it is Jordan Grace did not renew her contract with TNA.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, like NXT, there NXT. I think Cora Jade was on an episode of Impact.
Oh yeah, she was. She was.
Yeah, but she's an NXT wrestler who's
NXT.
appearing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't I don't know that anybody would backtrack to TNA, but I mean, well, I say
I
that
know.
Nick Nemeth, but but Nick Nemeth got released first.
Exactly. Same with Mufasa Ali.
Yeah, he did get released.
He's
Although that'd be another one. I think he should just show up randomly and be like, "I'm back, bitches."
yeah, both of them look better now than they ever
That's
did.
so, dude. It's
Mhm.
they needed to leave, and that's the thing. We've talked about it before. Sometimes you just need to go away. And now that they're working with TNA or even Evolve NXT, like some people,
Yeah,
I think rotations down to NXT should become a thing again because they were doing that for a minute.
yeah, yeah,
Where they would just periodically go down to NXT. Oh, speaking of going down to NXT, Fandango is back,
yeah. Saw him too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
admittedly
He
on
made an
NXT,
appearance.
but
Still,
he got a pop.
yeah. I wondered if people actually knew who he was. He looks so different.
He does. Yeah, that was wild. It's kind of like when you see Tyler Breeze now. It's like he looks the same, but also very different.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if he's wrestling anywhere right now. I think he does he not work for WWE just behind the scenes? I can't remember.
I know he runs like a school, a wrestling
Yeah,
school.
I knew he had a school, but don't quote me on that in the comment section if you know. I'm having a brain fart. I cannot remember. Um, I've also been very happy because it seems like for the most part the music department is getting better. Certainly the
Hmm.
Titantrons are getting better because they were getting pretty damn generic there for a minute.
Yeah. Honestly, I wish even like in AEW, NWE, like I wish the music was much better. Like it's kind of like it's getting there, but it's still kind of lame.
Well,
Like
I
I
think
wish
what
they have
I
nothing snappy.
yeah, well, I think what they should do, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again because now I know Triple H watches the show. Here's what you guys need to do. You guys need to make it so independent bands can submit music to be used, and it's significantly
That'd be cool.
well, because the thing of it is WWE can say, okay, we're going to license this piece of music. I think there's a legal minimum that they have to pay, but I don't know if they're not represented by a record label, then I don't know what it would be. I would think it'd be substantially
Hmm.
cheaper though. But if they can get away with doing it for free, the caveat is it's like, okay, then we put because Ring of Honor did this for a minute where a wrestler would come out, and then down on the lower third, it would be like, this is the song title, this is the band, and then
Oh
people
yeah,
would
yeah, got you,
look that
got
up.
you.
And I
Yeah.
think a brilliant candidate would be our next sponsor, actually, our friends at Velena. They have a ton of songs that would be great entrance music in WWE. And here's two examples right now, two tidbits of examples.
Forsan Records is proud to introduce the newest album from Velena, including the singles Cut Me to the Quick,
Cut me to the quick and tear me asunder. Push me to the limit. Anything to pull me
and Remedy. Velena, Save Me From Myself, available now wherever you get your music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, they didn't hear it because of the magic of live television. But what I was saying is like there are so many great bands that would kill for that spot. And in fact, there's bands that
Yeah.
I only know exist because of WWE.
Same here.
Yeah, there's a ton. I recently saw a video too. I guess Our Lady Peace was in Calgary recently, and they
Hmm.
they played Chris Benoit's old theme, that song, and they said, "We're taking it back,
Oh yeah.
fuckers." I'm like, you know what? I mean, it is their song. I'll get, but like bands like Rev Theory, right? I only know that band because of Randy Orton's admittedly kick-ass theme song. Uh,
Hmm.
Living Color, CM Punk, Cult of Personality. Turns out they're a really good band. I just never knew they existed before.
Hmm.
What are some? There's some other ones. Motionless in White. Never knew they existed until Rhea Ripley and New Year's Day as her first theme song. I love New Year's Day. Great band. Only knew about them because of Rhea Ripley's first theme
Yeah.
song. And now
Also,
I'm
for me, it was Bray Wyatt's song, like his old theme song. Name of the
who's
band,
Bray Wyatt's?
yeah, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, so Triple H. I definitely think you should do that is make a place where people can submit music
Hmm.
and yeah, thank us later because I think that'd be a great idea because it just gets
Yeah,
away from
so
the
many bands
super
would kill.
generic. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I think you're freezing a little bit there, buddy. Oh no, you're good now.
Yeah, same with you. Like it's
Oh,
like robot. All right, okay, it's better now.
okay. Yeah. Whatever it was. But gosh, yeah, I mean,
That's
heck, I know.
WWE back in.
Yeah, yeah, hacking it. Get that feed. I want that information. Sir, you can watch it live. I don't care. But yeah, think about. I love the story actually. That reminds me because I forget what documentary it was in, but Triple H tells the story about how they got his theme song, and he was like, they were going
Oh
through a
yeah,
bunch of different things, and he was just like, I don't know. I kind of wanted to. Can
yeah,
you make it sound more like Motorhead? And then apparently they were like, can we just get
yeah.
Motorhead? And they were like, yeah. And he was like, oh my God. And then they got Motorhead. That was back. And honestly, I think that was peak WWE music. There used to be a time, guys, youngins,
Absolutely.
you kids out there.
Jimmy Johnson.
I love the Jim. I don't know why. I think he retired. I don't think he was fired, but that was
No, he was fired. He was fired. He
why
was fired for
being too awesome.
CFO, CF. I don't know. I think it was like an argument or some kind of disagreement
Yeah, he was probably in there being like, "Hey,
between
your
him
music
and
sucks."
Kevin Dunn.
Well, hire him back, please, if he's still working. Because yeah, there was a time when WWE had a
He
record
was
label.
amazing.
Like they used to put out music CDs. They used to
Oh
put
yeah,
out
yeah, yeah, yeah,
albums.
yeah.
In fact, there was one, I think
I
it
had
I
one. Yeah.
yeah, I think there was a few. I think one of them was called Forcible Entry, and what they did was they took like established wrestling themes, but then they had other bands like cover them. The Drowning Pool version
Yeah.
of Triple H's theme is awesome. Okay, it's
That's cool.
better than it has any business being. And then heck, POD does
Hmm.
Rey Mysterio's to this day. Like that's POD.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like if you're grandfathered in,
Actually, I forgot that.
yeah, yeah, that's POD. It seems like if you're grandfathered in, you get to keep your cool music, but nowadays it's like, except Cody. Cody's one of the few exceptions where that's
Cody
another
brought
band.
his own music.
Oh gosh, what's the name of that band? That's so sad because I know them because I again through wrestling I was exposed to them. They did a lot of themes for WWE. It's not Def Rebel. It's I'll remember it eventually. That's really sad because I know Downstate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did. Gosh, they've done a few. Another really good one was Story of the Year did the newest version of Christian's theme before he went to AEW of
Okay, okay.
his theme song. Really dug it.
Yeah,
I dug the original because it
yeah,
was so different. Like remember Christian's theme
it
back in
was.
the day? Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
It was great, but it was so different.
Mhm.
Um it was like Evanescence before Evanescence because that was way before Evanescence.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great song, but then Story of the Year did a cover of it and they made it a little bit harder. And I was like, you know what? I'm
Hmm.
down with this. I like both of them. But they did
You're
Downstate did
absolutely right.
Alex,
That was Evanescence. Yeah, it was.
yeah, before
That
Evanescence,
was.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, there's so many. Just they should get independent musicians to submit music. Please, Trips, do it.
And I guess that's why I'm so disappointed with the themes. Like I used to love the theme songs, like
Yeah,
of
a lot of
wrestling.
the
That was
entrances
like
used to
part
be
of
my favorite part. Yeah, I know what you mean.
absolutely.
And now there's only like I really like Kevin Owens' theme and I really like Pete Dunne's theme. Other than that, none of them really stick
Mhm.
out.
Yeah, it's always like generic music, like free
That's why I
royalty
don't like
free music.
DJs, man. Like Jim Johnson was a legitimate music producer, a musician,
It was.
and all these
Yeah.
DJs are just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make a beat and then on my
Yeah, yeah,
laptop,
yeah.
that's
The
it.
last the last great theme I liked it was Sean Spears when he was the chairman. I forgot who did that.
I
That was
will say AEW is a little bit better about because they have access to the Warner Music library, but
oh, okay.
they're marginally better. Speaking of Evanescence, this is a fun
Marginally.
fact.
Yeah.
This is a fun fact for you. Did you know that Christian Cage's theme song in both TNA and AEW is just the instrumental version of an Evanescence song?
Nope. I
It
believe
is.
it 100%.
It's the instrumental version of My Last Breath, which is a really good song, but
Oh yeah, it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
listen to it. It is. It's absolutely that.
Yeah. I used to be a fan.
Yeah, I never really did get into the new Evanescence. Like somebody told me, I think it was actually I think it was Rachel
Uh-huh.
from Valena. She mentioned Evanescence touring and passing, and I was like, "What? They're still touring? They're still touring."
Really? I thought they
Yeah, they're
broke
still
up. I thought
putting
the
out.
girl left.
No, I don't think so. I think they're still maybe they did temporarily, but yeah, like they're putting out albums
Oh
and
wow.
touring, and I'm like, good. I think she did break away for a bit. I don't think they ever broke up, but I think she did a
Yeah.
solo project a few
Yeah,
years
she did.
ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so that's
I don't know. I miss music back then. Like that was my era of music that I liked.
yeah, mine too. Unfortunately, rock is dead right now, dude. There's like two bands carrying the
Yeah.
torch.
Like my whole phone album is just like old music from the last 10 years ago. It's nothing
It
new.
makes me feel so old when I go and listen to my music. Because then I realize how I'm like, oh my God, this song came out in 2000.
yeah, like mine's is like 2000, 2009,
Yeah.
8, like old Linkin Park.
Yeah, back when it was good. Actually, I listened to their new stuff because the new vocalist, there was some controversy. Um,
Yeah, I don't like it.
I like their new
She's not
song,
Chester.
but I kind of said at the time, I said the mistake they're going to make is, and I understand why they're doing it, is they're going to go back and play all their hits,
Oh
but
yeah, and
but
it's
she's
gonna
not,
seem disrespectful.
yeah, but she's not Chester. Their new
Yeah.
song's not bad. It's different, but it fits her. So
Hmm.
I kind of
Yeah,
figured that's what
yeah.
was going to happen. And I mean, it's not like they kicked Chester out, so you can't really have that much ill will, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just that for me, like I stopped liking them since they did like Minutes to Midnight, that CD. That
Me,
was
yeah,
not good.
Meteora was the last good Linkin Park album, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, yeah. And Reanimation, I liked that one.
I did, but I count that as a cover album. I mean, it's just a remix. It's a good remix. It's probably the best
Yeah,
remix album I've ever heard because
yeah,
they're all bangers. I'm like, how can you take these awesome songs and make them better? Like,
yeah.
it's wild. But yeah, man, Linkin Park. And the sad thing is, all these bands are still touring. They're just not doing much new stuff. I think it's really basically Avenged Sevenfold and Falling in Reverse that are kind of carrying the rock torch. And that's
Corn.
Yeah, but Corn's been doing that. That's what I said. There's a lot of bands that are
Yeah, I
still
know.
touring. Like Disturbed's coming out with a new album, which I didn't know
They are.
about. Yeah,
I
or
used to
newish.
love Disturbed.
Dude, I
Yeah,
love
no,
Disturbed.
it's
Dude,
something.
fun story. We're rambling
Believe.
so
Was-
funniest thing. We've reached the portion of the podcast where
Believe.
we're no longer talking about wrestling. But
Yeah, you're absolutely.
but I hated that album when it. Oh no, not Believe. I'm sorry. I'm
Really?
thinking of. I'm no no. I'm thinking of 10,000 Fists. No, Believe is great. I
Oh, okay,
love.
okay. Yeah, I love Believe. That's my first
Rare.
album I ever had.
Oh, the
I
first
had
dude,
a
just
shirt made with the symbols,
nice,
like the cover.
nice.
I
Yeah,
had like a spray paint shirt. It was really cool.
nice. Dude, Disturbed was the band that actually got me into music. It was a combination of Disturbed and Styx. I know
Yeah,
that's a very strange combination. Different reasons, but yeah,
yeah,
it was funny
yeah.
because I got a copy of The Sickness because a friend of mine was
Okay,
listening to it, and it was the first time because I listened to music, but I wasn't like I never understood why people were like, "Oh my God, I'm obsessed with this band. Everything they do is great." I never understood it because I was like, I kind of like that song or I kind of like that song. I was never big. And then I listened to The
same here.
Sickness and I was like, I get it. I get how someone. And then ironically, also in 2018, I did a lot. Okay. Oh no, that wasn't 2018. I forget what year that was, but I finally got to see a life goal of mine. I think I saw Disturbed live in 2016. It was 2018 when I saw
That's cool.
Rammstein live. Um, those
Oh,
were
I
the
did that
two,
too.
yeah, those were the two bands on my list that I said I have to see them live before I die. Um, both of them were like religious experiences. You have to understand, I'm a pretty reserved
That's
guy.
phenomenal.
I I don't I don't move around a lot. I don't emote a lot, bro. At these concerts, I lucked out at the
I'm the
Rammstein
same
concert.
way.
Oh, dude, people were staring, and I didn't give a single fuck. I lucked out at the Rammstein concert because originally I had bought two tickets, but then they postponed it for 2 years because of
Yeah.
COVID. I bought the
Oh, okay,
tickets.
okay.
Yeah, I bought the tickets in 2018, and then I didn't.
Okay, I saw the one when they first came to New York. That was like 2011 or
Yeah,
something
okay.
like
So
that.
no, I just yeah, like
That was
fairly
like 2 years
recently.
beforehand.
Yeah, I bought the tickets in 20. No, I bought the tickets in 2020, not 2018. When did? Yeah, but anyway, I didn't get to actually see them until 2022 because of COVID. But Um, I had two seats originally, but I couldn't sell the other one in time, so I said, fuck it. So I went, and then it just so happened the other seat on the other side of me was empty too. So I had like three seats to just go nuts, and I
Oh,
did.
that's awesome.
I am not ashamed at all. Zero shame. Dude, I just couldn't help it. And Disturbed was the same way. Like, I
Uh-huh.
Every lyric, everything. I was going nuts. The next day, both occasions, I couldn't turn my head. I had no voice. I was like,
Uh-huh.
I was like, good times, great times,
Yeah. I love
so
it
much
when a
fun.
band is as good as the CD as in live. Like sometimes the live experience is a little different, but I love
Yeah,
it when the band is exactly the same. It
I
gives you that
yeah,
same
dude.
feeling.
Same way. I love that. I absolutely
Mhm.
love that. Breaking Benjamin was they were at the same show as Disturbed, and I'm sitting there listening to them like,
Oh, okay.
God, I forgot how good these guys are. And then
Yeah.
it was a really surreal moment because a couple rows in front of me, I saw these two girls that couldn't be like I honestly thought they were about 14. They couldn't have been a day over 14, and they're wearing like Breaking
Mhm.
Benjamin gear, and I'm like, your dad's exposed you to this because there's no way you
Yeah.
found this on your own. Like, but it was cool though. I was like, you know what? They're carrying the torch. But now I kind of really want to see Falling in Reverse live because
Same here. I want to go to another one.
yeah, because I resisted them. I'll be the first to admit it. Eric was like, dude, you gotta listen to this band. They're so awesome. And then he tried to. I didn't get Popular Monster, dude. I didn't get it. And then finally one day I got it
Uh-huh.
because I think I was pissed off about something, like legitimately pissed off. And then that song came on,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I get it now.
That's how like
I get it
depends
now.
on how I was feeling, but
Yeah,
like that's how I got into the music song. Like that's how I got into Disturb,
yeah.
Death Stars.
I've not heard of
It's
them.
like it's new metal. It's like new heavy metal, but
Yeah,
I love Death Stars.
I didn't take you for a metalhead. I like it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You seem more reserved than the typical, which I mean, to be fair, I get that a lot too. So don't take it
Yeah.
personally, but I get
Oh no,
that too.
no.
Whenever
I
people,
totally get why. It's like it
yeah,
is all inside.
that's until it's that good, and then it just, I get that
Oh
all the
yeah,
time, dude. When people see like my playlist, they're like, "What the fuck?"
yeah.
I'm like, "I
It's
know,
for me. It's only death metal, heavy metal, new rock,
nice."
alternative rock, some pop.
No, see, I'm really weird though. Like I'm all over the map. Like people look at my playlist and they get confused because like you'll jump straight from like literal Slayer to like pop ballads and Dolly Parton, and I've been on a big Robbie Williams kick ever since that movie came out.
Honestly, if you didn't mention that, like I never knew who he was. Like I
I
saw
same
like your
here.
video, I didn't know who he was. Like Robbie Williams, like oh he's famous in UK, but
He's
not over there.
famous just about everywhere else except here,
Yeah,
and it's like, and I'm
never
telling
knew who he
everybody,
was.
yeah, I'm telling everybody, I'm like, no, listen, like, there's probably someone because he's got a such a wide category of music. I mean, shit, he's been
Yeah.
making music since 1990, like, and pretty
Oh wow.
steadily. Like, there's something in there you're gonna like, right? But
Yeah, yeah, more likely. Uh-huh.
yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's plenty that I've listened to that I don't really love, and then there's some that I'm like, this is awesome.
Hmm.
But yeah, so apparently Hakeem's a metalhead. Didn't know that. Love it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was a band called Broken Side. It was like emo metal.
Awesome.
For the days.
That is badass. Well, everyone, I'm already yawning, so that means we're going to wrap the show up. Thank you for enjoying this
Yep.
episode of Down the Middle. Triple H, let us know. Give us a sign.
A wink, a
Give
point.
me a sign. A wink and a nod or down the middle. We'll take it. And be sure to check out our sponsors, in particular, the Final Frontier podcast and Valena. I don't know why I said in particular. Those are the only two sponsors we had. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Thank you all for enjoying. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you guys next week for another new episode of Weekly Wrestling Wrap Up. And then the following week for another live Down the Middle podcast. And we will see you guys then. Until then, do whatever you want. Go listen to some metal. You know,
Ah,
get the
of
aggression out.
course.
Bye.